Hey guys, my name is Danny and I'm a real estate investor out of Charlotte, North Carolina. And in this guide is going to guide you from beginning to end on how all your wholesale deals are going to happen. And it's going to give you some real insight on what to do to get your first deal and how the process is going to work. So before we jump in, if you're watching this on YouTube, like and subscribe. Also hit the little bell icon so that way you could be notified when I post some new videos. As well as if you're watching this on Instagram, give me a like. Also share it with anybody that might benefit from the information in this video. So let's go ahead and jump right in. The first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to ask yourself, what is your why? Why do you want to be a wholesaler? Is it because of the financial freedom that comes with it? Are you interested in getting into real estate? Your why is going to determine how successful you're going to be in wholesaling and any business that you're going to start. For me, my why is my family. I want to bring my family up financially, as well as be able to provide for them better and have more time off to spend with my wife and my kids. Now, my why is, it might be the same as yours. It might not. Whatever your why is, it's completely up to you. Nobody's going to have the same why. The next step to that would be creating a business name. I know that it's not an absolute necessity to form a business, but when you're wholesaling, you want to come off as a credible investor. Most investors do not do business in their own names. They do business under a business name. So if you have some money and you have the ability to open up an LLC or some type of corporation, definitely do so, because you're going to build more credibility for your sellers and you're going to look like a real credible investor. It's also going to help you when it comes to tax time, but we'll discuss that in another video. The third thing you're going to want to do is market research. This is absolutely important. You really want to go out and get a feel for the market that you're going to be wholesaling in, because you definitely don't want to be getting properties under contract that you can't sell or that nobody's really interested in that area. And this happens a lot. I see a lot of new wholesalers do this constantly. They don't really do the research on what area to target. They'll get like just as an example, one entire zip code and get every property in that zip code, but not all the properties in that zip code are going to be desirable for most investors. So definitely do your market research. You can do it really simple. Just drive around, take a look at areas of growth where you see flippers actually buying houses, and when you see a lot of flip activity, that's definitely an indication that it's a great area to try to wholesale. As well as you can use tools like Zillow. You can hop on Zillow, look at recently sold properties within the last year, and generally the areas that have a lot of activity will light up. And I mean, you could find some really great areas, even if you can't drive out there. Like, let's say you're going to be virtual wholesaling, you can take a look at an area and figure out what areas have a high demand for investors. The next thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to create a marketing plan. This is also very, very important, because with your marketing plan, when you write it out and really visualize what your marketing plan is going to be, you can do little tweaks to it as time goes on to where you can make your marketing plan even better than when you first started. Like for me, my beginning marketing plan was using bandit signs. I started using bandit signs, and every single Friday I would put out 10 bandit signs in the same intersections. That way I could understand, hey, do these intersections work as far as putting out signs? Or is there a better intersection that might work a little bit better than where I'm currently at? But I was never going to know if I didn't have an actual marketing plan laid out and followed that marketing plan religiously. The 10 bandit signs I had every single week, I put them out. I had 100 total. So I definitely wanted to make the bandit signs last, as well as concentrate on certain areas that I knew or had a feeling that they would have high traffic and people would be able to see them. Now, back to your marketing plan. Your marketing plan can consist of anything that you want to do, whether you want to cold call, direct mail, or do any type of internet advertising. Those are the things that are going to set you apart from everybody else, because there's a lot of guys that don't plan to do what they're trying to do, which is market for sellers. So their plan is literally to fail because they didn't take the time to actually plan it out. Let's say you start cold calling or sending out direct mail. You're also going to want to target certain properties or certain people, such as absentee owners, foreclosure lists, tax delinquent lists, liens, bankruptcies, whatever the list may be. Stick to one. Again, a lot of new wholesalers, they'll mail 100 pieces to an absentee list and be like, you know what, I got nothing from that list doesn't work. And it's not true. The reason why it didn't work is because you have to stay consistent and you have to constantly market to that same person. Each person, whether you're calling or direct mail, can take anywhere from 1 to 10 times to finally get a response out of them. And it might not be right away. It might be 10 times over a 2 to 3 month basis. We've had deals like that before, that we've called old lists that we called maybe 3 months ago, and the exact same people that we had already called a few months ago are actually now ready to sell their property. And it's just because we're catching people at the right time. Yes, you'll get follow-ups where people say, yeah, I'm ready, but I'm not really ready yet to sell. I do want to. And you'll get that all the time and consistently follow up with them. But you'll get new leads off of the same old list that you have if you just keep marketing. Never stop marketing is the plan. Now that you're having some leads come in, the next thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to qualify these leads. Qualifying leads is absolutely important because you definitely don't want to be wasting your time on people that are not really interested in selling and they're not really motivated in selling their property at a discounted price. Because you might get some people that are motivated in selling, but they want retail value for their homes. And I know that could be a little bit discouraging, but it happens all the time. It's very, it's something that you can't avoid. It's a part of the process. So in qualifying these leads, you're going to ask simple probing questions. The first one being, why are you interested in selling this property? They're going to give you the reason why they want to sell, and you're going to lead off of that. Then you're going to go into, do you have any mortgages? Do you have any liens? Anything that might have to be paid at the closing table. Any judgments. Those things are also things that are going to factor into, can you give this person a price that's going to work for them? Because nobody's going to really end up selling a house. Well, I should refrain from saying nobody. Most people are not going to sell a house that they're going to have to pay money to get rid of it. Some instances they will. But not every time is it going to be like that. Some other probing questions that you're going to want to ask are, how long do you think it's going to be before you really want to sell the property, or when do you want to close by? The more questions do you ask, the more questions that come out of your head to ask them, the longer you keep them talking, the more information you're going to have in order to see what type of option you have in order to sell this house. There are a lot of different creative financing methods that can come into play, especially with those probing questions. But we'll discuss that in another video. Your next step is going to be running comps or finding comparable properties that match some of the leads that you've brought in with all your marketing. Now, this is really simple and really easy. It doesn't take a lot of work. What you're just basically going to do is you're going to find other properties that are similar to the ones you have. For instance, let's say you have a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. It's a brick home with 1,000 square feet. You're going to look for other homes of the same exact criteria to see how much they're going for fully fixed up. That's going to give you your after repair value, or ARV. When you have that number, it's absolutely significant. Now, ARV could, definitely vary from market to market, street to street. You're generally going to want to find properties that are within at least half a mile to a maximum of 1 mile radius. Now that you've done all those steps, you're going to want to go ahead and set up an appointment. That way you can see these houses. Definitely try to go on as many appointments as possible, even if you don't think that you can help these people. Because the more experience that you have out in the field, the more houses that you see, the more experience that you're going to have, and the better you're going to be able to serve people when the time comes that you're really able to get a good lead. And I know that that's very controversial for a lot of people. Why am I going to waste my time going on an appointment on something that I have no control over the situation where I could help this person? But it just, the more houses you see, the more repairs you see, the better you get at what you're doing. So definitely go on an appointment, document everything that you can find on appointment, such as pictures, write it all down, and definitely ask the seller to give you as much information about the property as possible. And if you got If you have a drone, take drone shots, 360 cam, take some 360 cam footage. Do as much as you can. That way you have enough information to go by for your buyers and also for yourself. That way maybe if you need some help from some other wholesalers, they can give you an idea of what the property is worth and what kind of repairs are needed on it. Now comes the offer. This is where you're going to make your offer on the property and tell the seller exactly what you can give them. That way they can either say yes or say no. Not every offer that you make is going to be accepted. If you have a real motivated seller, more likely the chance that you have for them to say yes to your offer. In order to determine the offer, you're going to have to go back to your comps. Find out what the ARV is of the property. For this instance, I'm going to use the ARV of $100,000. So if the property is worth $100,000, an investor is going to want to make at least 30% profit. So let's take the 100,000 minus the 30%, and now we're at 70,000. So at $70,000 is the price where the investor wants to be all in after repairs and purchasing the property. So you're going to take your 70,000, subtract your $10,000 for an assignment fee, and now you have your starting point. We're starting at $60,000 is where our offer is before repairs. Now to determine repairs, it's pretty simple. Usually I have a little formula that I use that if it's just minor repairs, paint, and maybe some holes in the wall, it's about $10 a square foot to repair. You got your minor repair. Now let's say if you need a kitchen or bath, add another $10, HVAC and water heater, add another $10, and so on. I'll post a little list here on the side of everything on how we really gauge these repairs. Now that you have your repairs, so remember, we're at $60,000. Now we're going to subtract our repairs. Let's assume the repairs are $30,000. So now we have an offer of $30,000. But we're not going to start at $30,000. You want to start your way low and work your way up. So we're going to give our offer to our seller at $21,000. So we start at $21,000 and the seller's going to say, no, I want at least $40,000. And you're going to close the gap in your negotiation, knowing that your maximum available offer is $30,000. Now, because you have an assignment fee of about $10,000, you can work with that. Even if you gotta make less money for yourself, be flexible and try to close this deal for your seller. You're working for the seller, not for yourself. You're trying to solve their problems, and that's the most important part. Now that you've calculated everything, you're gonna make your offer. And in making your offer, this is very, very, very important. You want to explain to the seller the reason why you calculated this offer or how you calculated this offer. The best thing to do is tell them the truth. What is the property worth? About $90,000 to $100,000. It's going to take me at least $40,000, $30,000 to $40,000 to repair it, and I need to make at least 20 to 30% in profit. They're going to understand this and they're going to feel more at ease when you come with a very low offer on why you made the very low offer. And they're going to be able to rationalize in their head, hey, this sounds like something that I could live with doing. I feel that this could be the right decision because now I understand why he's giving me this very low offer. And a lot of sellers rationalize this very easily. They understand that you have to make a profit. You're not going to buy this property unless you're going to make a profit, and anyone that does, they know that they're going to need to make a profit. They know the property is ugly. They know it needs work. That's why they're trying to get rid of it. Now that you've made the offer, they're already interested in taking the offer, you're going to go ahead and get out your contract. Now, I do have a link to some contracts that I use in my bio. I have a purchase and sale agreement as well as an assignment agreement. Take your contracts and you're going to go ahead and bring it to the seller and have them sign it. Some people do paper, some people do DocuSign and get electronic signatures, or even by mail if you have to. You can use anything that you think that would benefit you. Personally, I usually use DocuSign or any other electronic signature service. I don't really do many paper contracts unless I already know what I can offer them right there on the spot. Your next step is going to be finding a closing attorney or title company. Now, I know it varies state to state on what you're going to be using, but depending on where you're at, you're gonna have to talk to other investors or find out what your local laws or regulations are. In North Carolina, we use closing attorneys. So how I found my attorney was I started asking questions in some of the Facebook groups for my local real estate investors, and I started asking around, hey, who do you guys use for closing? Who do you guys close with? Any investor-friendly attorneys? And you'll find an entire list of people that are investor-friendly, whether it's a title company or an attorney, that'll be able to help you with whatever you need. Other ways as well is also going to RIA meetings and looking for local gatherings like on meetup.com of other real estate investors and networking with as many people as possible. This will also help you out build your buyers list. So don't think that this is only reserved for finding title companies or closing attorneys. Your next step is you're going to want to find a buyer. Now that you have your property, you have a place where it's going to close. Now you need somebody to actually buy the property off of you or assign the contract to. And this is also going to take some time to keep building up your buyers list, but this is very easy. During your cold calling adventures, if you've been cold calling, you'll find buyers. Even putting out bandit signs, you'll find buyers. Sending out direct mail, you'll find buyers. There are several different ways to find buyers. There's no one and only solution. You can find buyers doing absolutely anything, even just going on your local Facebook groups and asking, hey, are any of you guys actively buying in this area? You know, obviously use the area that you're investing in. And you'll get a ton of people, yeah, I'm investing, here's my email, here's my contact information, send me what you got. Don't use ghost ads. I know a lot of people love to use ghost ads and say, oh yeah, the property already got sold. And you know, sometimes it's kind of annoying that somebody's gonna call in on a deal that doesn't exist or never did exist. Be truthful with your buyers. Talk to them, tell them, hey, I'm kind of new, so I'm trying to build up my buyers list before I start wholesaling. And they'll be more than happy to join your list. They really will. Now that you found your buyer, this is the easy part. All you're gonna have to do is assign your contract to your buyer. Your buyer's already gonna know what you're gonna make as far as an assignment fee. I know that there's different tricks of the trade that you can kind of block the buyer from seeing your assignment fee. To be honest, I don't really care whether they see my assignment fee or not, because they're gonna get a great deal no matter what. They're gonna make money, I'm gonna make money, everybody's gonna be happy. Assign your contract, you're gonna use the same thing, either use a paper contract or you're gonna use an electronic signature service to assign your contract over to your buyer. You're gonna take them both to the closing attorney or title company and go ahead and get the closing process started. And it's that simple. Now, you're gonna move on to your next step. Now, once you have the assignment signed and everything's at the closing attorney, you can literally just sit back and relax. You have nothing to worry about. Everything that you had to do is done. The closing is gonna happen. You don't have to be there. You don't have to do anything else after that contract is assigned. Obviously, you wanna keep your seller happy. If he needs anything, work on it with them or, provide services for them. As well as your buyer, if he needs any information, you'll have the information readily available, or you'll be fine. This is the easiest part, because this is the part that I used to complicate it like crazy, because I thought that I was gonna have to be running around going to the closing attorney, and in reality I could just sit back, relax, get a wire into my bank account, and boom, deal is done. No hair pulling, and that's pretty much it. That's the end of this video. It doesn't get any simpler than that. I know that there's a lot of information in there. You're gonna want to try to write some of this stuff down, and it's not gonna be perfect. I mean, with time, you're gonna make things, work best for you, and things are gonna work out better for you. You may find a better way to wholesale than me. It's a never-ending process. We're always growing, and things are always changing. The market's always changing too. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, if you're watching this on YouTube, like and subscribe. Also press the little bell icon. That way you can get notified of any more videos that I put out. I'm consistently trying to put out videos every single week, at least 2 to 3 times a week. Also vlogging some of my daily activities when I go on appointment and I go see some of these sellers and see some of these houses, and even some of the deals that I have that I never thought that I could even have these type of deals, such as multifamily apartments or duplexes or other commercial properties. Also, if you're watching this on Instagram, shoot me a like, give me a follow, and share my video with somebody that you think could benefit from this information. So I hope you guys found this very informative. It took me a while to make it, so I'm really satisfied with the way everything came out. So have a great day, guys, and I hope you're closing some deals.